Hello, hello.
Anyone help?
Do you want to ask? I'm basically going around asking everyone why we're here today and what we're protesting.
We are protesting to support English government, English people against the decision of the government that they are letting the IRGC terrorists to come to this country. So we are Iranian and we want this regime to go. So they have to help us to get rid of all the IRGC from this country, because this is the second house for IRGC to come here and then bring the assets of Iranian to this country, and this government let them to do so.
What do you say to the people that say there isn't a problem with that at all, and that they want they want these different cultures and different countries to come over and be in England and live in England? What do you say to those?
Yeah, but as you can see, they can use the democracy against the democracy. They are abusing your democracy. They are not. They want to bring Sharia law to this country. So if you are happy to do so, that's fair enough. But you can see in your street what is happening right now.
And obviously, speaking to an Iranian like yourself, would you be able to shed a bit of light on what's happening in Iran from your perspective and from your eyes?
47 years we have been under this brutal regime, Islamic regime, and it was so hard. It's really hard. You won't understand until you come across with such a brutal regime, and then you understand me as a person that I'm against it. So I've been so, my people, they have been in prison, tortured and killed in the street. 47,000 Iranian people in 2 days they've been killed, shot dead in the street. So when Sharia law take over, you are finished. Democracy is over. I'm telling you right now.
So the war in Iran at the moment, as we're seeing it, is this a good thing or a bad thing in your eyes?
We want America and Israel to finish it. Finish the regime. This is a help. This is not the war. This is the help to Iranian people. Imagine they're hanging people, they're shooting people in the street. So you are asking for help. So America and Israel, they're helping us. This is a help for Iranian.
No, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you for asking our questions. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we sign off from the channel at all?
All I can say is don't let your democracy go away in 1 second. It can go away in 1 second. It happened to my country. We had the kingdom in Iran. His dad was the king of Iran, and we had all my parents, they're regretting that they were in the street against his dad. They're regretting now. We want our democracy back, but it's very hard to bring the democracy back to your country. You have it, keep it. Hold on to your democracy. Don't let any Islamic terrorism regime or group take over your democracy. I'm not talking about religious only. I'm talking about the extremisms. Don't let them to take over your country.
Okay. Thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Every human being, I believe, is made in the image of the divine, is sacred, is unique.
Okay, hiya. Hi. Just ask some questions on today's protest. What are you out here standing for, and what are you here for?
We're standing for Voice of Iranian, because you know that 100 days blackout in Iran, all communications are cut off by the IRGC, the regime, and no one knows. The world didn't know anything about Iran right now, because in Iran, people, the 20% of regime fans going to hostage 80% of Iranian. You know that because of the no voice and all blackout in Iran, we are standing here, voice of Iranian people, because Iranian people, real Iranian people, in silent right now, and
So-
they need a voice.
Just for the benefit of people that aren't up to date on all of it, what is the current situation in Iran at the moment? You said about the 100-day blackout.
100 blackout right now, and sadly we're waiting the political deals with the US and the regime. Sadly, that was Iranian people don't want that. because we are standing for freedom, we are standing for democracy, and the real Iranian people, they don't agree the dealing with the IRGC or regime, because they don't accept them, and that was must to go. That was not Iranian, and they're killing Iranian. You know that in January 7th or 8th, that was killing around 45,000 people on the street for peaceful protests. By empty hand, they comes out, they're killing by machine gun. And you imagine many people, child, women, and the family out for democracy, for standing for freedom, but the regime killing them. And sadly, the regime have their own propaganda, and they use that to spread the liar, and they say the word, no, they are terrorists. No, they are Iranian people. You are the terrorists. You are killing Iranian people, because they not care about Iranian people. They're thinking about own money, own pocket. That was the issue. And sadly, because of the silence of Iranian, nobody knows what's going on in Iran, because of the blackout, because of the any real stories comes out from Iran. That was we tried to stand up here to say that was what the Iranian wants: freedom, democracy behind the Prince Reza Pahlavi. That was all leader going through, and to make the Iranian greater again.
So what do you think about the war currently in Iran now? Is that overall a good thing or a bad thing, or where is it, and where does it stand with you?
Look at the Iranian people, the real Iranian people. They don't say the war. They just say rescue mission. You know that, to come in to help us to destroy the IRGC military base, because this you know that the U.S. destroyed them. The Israel helped them to destroy all facility to avoid attacking other countries. If they're still there, they come and kill anyone else. You know that one of the missiles they can attack London as well, and the U.S. knows that, the Israel knows that. They're fighting with them to destroy it, but sadly they're still holding, and that was Iranian people concerned about that. I asked President Trump, finish this mission, and they find their freedom must go back to Iran as soon.
So what do you think the next stage is for Iran now? Obviously, the Ayatollah that's been taken out, and he's not in control anymore. And obviously, we're out here protesting that we don't want the regime to take over, and you want to be free from that. What's the next move for Iranians in Iran now?
Hopefully, the next move after this regime's gone, we are standing for democracy, for freedom, for you know that the brand new government. For peaceful, we know, because real Iranian don't have any difficulty or any problem with other people around the world, but only this radical Muslim and the regime have an issue, and they're coming to kill anyone else. Because after you know that 47 years they spend the Iranian money for support the terrorist group, and that was the cause of that. They're going to attack any different country around Iran and make the difficulty people living there. And hopefully we are standing for peaceful democracy in future, and behind our leader, Prince Reza Pahlavi, King Reza Pahlavi.
No, I genuinely hope for that for your future as well. No, that's why we're out here. I think it's really nice to see British and Iranian people standing together, having solidarity about an issue. What do you say to the people who, essentially there's a large popular people out there that either don't believe this or choose not to believe this, and they think that the West is imposing in Iran. What do you say to people that think this?
Sadly, Iranian people is not fighting only with the regime. We are fighting with far left group as well, because you know that the regime have money. They spend the money to spread wrong news outside of Iran, and lying the people outside the world about the situation of Iran. And yeah, we are here, and we are hope everything back to normal, same as 47 years ago, peaceful country with no any democracy, and you know that was equality between men and women. That was Iranian wants, the real Iranian wants, but the regime fans is different thinking.
And last question, just before we part.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any danger of the regime coming over to England and imposing anything on our culture at all?
100%. Actually, they are here. if you go to Medieval, the base of the Iranian regime there, that was that is they're coming to learn to coming to catch the people, to fighting with other for radical ideologies. We know that they are here already, or in the West, and they sadly we are fighting with them as well because they're coming to attack us. They say no, you are wrong. No, we are not wrong. We are standing on country. Most of them, the parties, is not Iranian. They're forging people from Afghanistan or from Iraqi or from somewhere else, and they didn't know what happened in Iran. But the regime paid to them, that because of the politics, they paid to them to support them, to come in to support that regime in the UK and make the difficulty living for peaceful Iranian people.
I think that's really good.
Yeah.
And I appreciate your time
Yeah,
today. We're just
thank
getting
you.
around getting context. So I'm going to head towards the man with a cross. What's he saying about today? Oh, don't want to get in the way of anyone. Hello, excuse me, mate. I wanted to ask a couple of questions today of what you're protesting, why you're here today.
We are here to basically protest mass migration, the cultural destruction and dismantlement of Britain and its sovereign nations, the deracination of other people, and for my grandchildren, eventually when...
Why the cross?
It's my burden to bear, right?
Yeah?
This is a Christian country, and even though I have not always historically been Christian, I believe in the values that Christianity proposes. The decay, moral decay, and the absence of it is only testament to the fact that clearly it did bind us as a civilization and society.
Okay. So you think Christian values, as fundamentally they're the basis of English society, that's
Of
what
Western
kind of
civilization,
Western
yes.
civilization. So you want to get back to more of that, and at the moment you're not happy with the landscape of how it is.
I'm definitely not happy with the current or trajectory we're on. I'm not necessarily for a complete and utter swing back to Old Testament values, but certainly we need to become more attuned to Christian values, which has been lost and has been actually removed from our normal lives and even our schools. And we can find a good, healthy balance.
Okay. So if there was something you could do from today's protest, what we're trying to achieve, what could be something we could all go away and action from today?
That's a big one, isn't it? Learn your history.
Okay.
That's a big one, because we've been atomized and we've been cut off from our history, and that is always the aim of the left. If you sever people from their history, they don't know who they are, and when you lose who you are, they can turn you into what they want you to be.
Okay.
So if you remember your history, learn your history, you will do right by your children, because remember what our friend Orwell said: he who controls the present controls the past, who controls the present controls the future.
Okay.
Paraphrasing there slightly, but if we lose sight of where we have come from, it sounds cliched, but you will lose control of where you are going.
Okay.
So learning your history.
I actually agree with a lot there. A lot of people say that there's pros and cons of mass migration, any kind of immigrants coming across at all anyway. Obviously, so I'm trying to be as neutral as I can today, going around and getting as much information. What would you say to those people who are then going, but there's a lot of positives and there's a lot of good things that come around from it? Would you strike a middle ground? Are you thinking it's more one way than the other? What's your opinion?
Migration is itself not an evil thing. Obviously, the left have tried to argue that because the English people, and myself, I'm not English, I am a product of, some form of migration. I'm German, Danish, and a couple of others. But obviously, historically, people have moved here. The English are Anglo-Saxon Celts, a little bit of Viking or Dane, Nordic, whatever you want to call them, some Norman as well. But migration itself is a good thing. Mass migration is a weapon of war. It is a weapon of erasure and basically a soft form of genocide. Every historical precedent of mass migration has led to utter ruin and collapse of the civilizations who experienced that influx. So one example, again, debatable whether it was inherently a mass migration event, but a mass exodus and movement of people, the sea peoples in the Bronze Age, led to the collapse of the East Mediterranean civilizations, from Mycenaean Greece to the Middle East and what we call now the area of Israel, Jordan, Syria, and very nearly destroyed old Egypt. So it has clearly been used, despite the arguments that it was for economic purposes, to prop up GDP and secure the pensions of certain demographics. It has clearly been used as a weapon to subjugate Western civilizations, crashing down or making sure that your incomes fall, your wages are suppressed, and with it has come this system of cultural destruction and erasure of what is Western civilization. This idea that all people are equal is just false. Quite simply put, we're not all equal. It does not mean that people are inherently evil.
Where would you draw the line between not all people are equal then? Where would you make that distinction?
Sorry, just repeat that. So,
when you said that we're not inherently all equal, then where would you draw that distinction? Where do you get that difference from?
Quite simply, time and space means that if I was born in another place, I would believe in different things. Does that mean, therefore, I can just move to China and not become part of their culture? Would I be able to be who I am in China and start telling them that they have to accommodate me? What do you think will happen? If I go to Saudi Arabia and break through the border, they will machine gun me. So I cannot go to another country and tell them, you have to make sure that I am accommodated for.
So it's not just a financial strain put onto the systems in the country. It's more the cultural difference and the clash of that.
It is both. There is definitely this sort of strange accumulation of different agendas coming together, where there is enormous profit to be made from this chaos, as well as creating a new worker class. This idea of a globalist, no one belongs anywhere, and especially not European people or people of European descent. You can belong anywhere, which means workers can be just used on a spreadsheet and said, right, we need more people here because the population has created an up-top heavy pyramid, so we need to prop up the system there because there's not enough young people working to support an aging population. What's going to happen when that population phases out? What happens when that age demographic cohort disappears? Now you're left with essentially what's going to happen here in 30 years' time. We'll see 50% English at best, if not even worse. And then maybe even just 60% European. So that includes all the people who have moved here, Poles, Romanians, French, German, Danish, other people who are in a country that has now totally been utterly recreated. What's going to happen after that?
Can I stand in and take a video of that, please? Thank you very much.
So is it fair to say your main concern then is preserving what you're classifying as English British culture then?
Absolutely. I believe, Tibet for the Tibetans, Bhutan for the Bhutanese, Japan for the Japanese, Saudi Arabia for the Arabians, every country, and Nigeria for the Nigerians, every country has the right to protect their cultural heritage and identity. Why not the Europeans?
And what do you think would be a good step in, if we're not feeling that at the moment? Obviously there's a lot of people out here today. What do you think they can do, or what do you think the government can do to make them feel that the British person's being put in first then?
Well, from a slightly outside perspective, stop giving away our entire historical wealth that has been built by centuries of people who've worked for their descendants away to people who have literally just come. Even in the last 10, 20 years, starting even before Blair, we can't blame it all on him, but he certainly didn't help. But, there are people clearly here of different backgrounds who are here to support Britain and what it stands for. That's why I'm here, because I want my children and his children to have the same quality of life and not have to fear, like, for example, the many Jewish or Iranian people who are here, because they're under attack by foreign ideologies that are utterly antithesis to ours. Islam, for example, in both Israel and Iran, has utterly destroyed the cultural heritage of the Persian people, and Israel constantly lives under threat of invasion, as we saw 2 years ago. And not just invasion, but being encircled and attacked by 7 countries, as happened 40 years ago.
I've got one more question because I'm conscious of taking up too much of your time. What does Britain stand for then? Obviously, a lot of this is a little bit of identity, and if the population actually aligns with what we're doing as a country, what do you think that message is? What do we stand for as a country?
That's a very tricky one, because it depends who you ask. A culture of a people is the accumulated actions and beliefs of that people. So Britain, without going into the sort of ridiculous rhetoric of Starmer saying, you know, tolerance and things like that. Yes, tolerance is part of a wider Christian value, but Britain's history is so complex and it's interwoven with Christian, Anglo-Saxon and other belief systems that over time have evolved. What that exactly is, I probably cannot tell you. But I know that it certainly does not mean the cultural erasure and replacement and leaving our children with a broken third world country that happened to South Africa and Rhodesia.
Yeah, that's pretty. Head towards the. Hello. Do you mind answering some questions on the protest today? Yeah? What are you out here protesting? I like your sign. What does your sign say actually? Freedom is in peril. Defend it with all your might. I love it. What does it mean?
So I expect you're familiar with the keep calm and carry on poster.
Yeah.
This is the one that would have been used had the Germans invaded.
That's right. So what are we using this sign for today then?
I think the West is under great danger of completely disappearing.
Okay, can you elaborate on that? What parts of it?
Well, for me, it's a fight between Islam and the Christian West.
Okay, we've heard a lot of that today. What's your thoughts on that fight? Why are they clashing so much? Well, how does that actually kind of like manifest itself in society?
Well, when you think about how Islam spread, if you think that in the time of Constantine, 4th century, the entire of the Mediterranean was part of the Roman Empire, and with Constantine it became Christian. Then in 632, when Muhammad died, Islam exploded out of Arabia, and within 100 years, all those countries that were very firmly Christian by the sword have then become Islamic. And they'd actually got as far as the middle of France. The Battle of Tours, 732, and a brave knight called Charles Martel was able to turn Islam back at that stage. But we could have so easily become Islamic at that stage. I don't want to be dressed in a burqa. Okay. I like having equal rights. As a woman, I'd like to go where I want, when I like, dress whom I like, with whom I like, whenever I like. And somewhere like Iran, they're throwing off Islam for simple things like girls want to be able to sing and ride a bicycle. I want that for my future generations of my family as well.
No, funnily enough, we just talked to an Iranian over there earlier. She was saying the same thing about the regime taking over for 47 years. What is it about, because obviously it's just a clash of ideologies then. What is the ideology of Islam? How does that not kind of communicate well with the Western world in general? You've said about the women's rights stuff. Is there anything else particularly you're concerned about?
Islam will not rest until all is for Allah. And they don't care how they do it. They could slaughter everybody like they did in the 8th century, or they can carry on now. When Ayatollah Khomeini went back to Iran, Iran had something called Shia Twelver Islam, and their idea is that after Muhammad died, the leader of Islam should always be a descendant of the Prophet, and there would be.
It's a bit getting lively, aren't they?
And there would be 12. There would be 12 imams before the end of time. Now, the Sunni also believe in the return of this imam, but they're prepared to wait. But Ayatollah Khomeini had this idea that if he could help the matter along a bit by creating an all-out war. He actually wants to provoke a war to fulfill a prophecy that until Israel is wiped off the map, then their final imam, called the Mahdi, will never come back, and the end times won't come. Now, at heart, I'm a greenie environmentalist. I think provoking a war to bring about the end of times is an absolutely terrible idea for people and planet. But the Iranians don't care. Apparently they've done the sums that if they decide to nuke Israel, and Israel nukes them back, and they lose 15 million Iranians, that's a price worth paying. last night I was watching a film of the oil fields, well, the Persian Gulf. Now that the Iranian oil storage is full, all their beautiful coastline is getting knee-deep in horrible, yucky oil. They don't care. All they want is to bring about the Mahdi, to bring about the end of times, so that all will be for Allah and will be for Islam. I think it's evil.
I think that they're really clear, good examples, foreign policies and how they're happening across the waters as well. How are you seeing this happen in England today? So obviously, quite a big ideology, quite a big religion, Islam itself. How is that? How are you seeing that impose itself on English or British culture?
Well, as I say, I'm an environmentalist, and we've now got various national landscapes saying we've got to include minority groups. Oh dear, minority groups don't seem to like dogs. Therefore, the English have got to adapt by always keeping their dogs on a lead, or preferably out of sight of Muslims. Well, it's not a case of Muslims don't like dogs. They think that dogs are ritually impure. If you don't like something, you can do therapy and you can tolerate whatever it is, spiders. But if you think something is ritually impure, there's nothing you can do about it.
And is that an individual thing, or is that an actual based in the religion itself?
It came about when Muhammad wanted to meet with I think it was Angel Gabriel. But Angel Gabriel wouldn't turn up because he said, there's a dog in your room. I do not enter a room where there is a dog or a picture. So in Christianity, we have the story of the shepherds and Gabriel saying, don't be afraid of me. In Islam, we've got a story of Gabriel saying, I'm too scared to come into a room where there's a dog.
So you're not opposed to religions, you just think that the Islam one doesn't blend well over here just because there's some crossovers that doesn't map out?
Islam is not a religion as such.
I think a couple of people agree with you, by the way.
It's a political project. They want you heart, mind, soul, politics, everything, until all will bend the knee to Allah, and I'm not going to.
Because I also think it's very dangerous to blend the politics, the religion and state. And obviously, some of the examples you've given, they've done that in previous countries. Is that a concern of yours here at all with the English government?
Well, of course. They're quite happy to use our democracy against us.
How are they doing that?
By taking over the Green Party. The first political party I ever joined was the Ecology Party, which was the precursor of the Green Party. But in those days, they were interested in the environment. But, I mean what can you say? In Iran, the regime came into power because the lefties got too close to the Islamists. And when Ayatollah Khomeini came back, the leftists were murdered by the thousand. That could so easily happen here.
No, I'd agree. It's a big concern. I just want to say thank you because one, we're going around getting context from everyone today, and I appreciate your answers. You've got some really good answers on that.
So what side are you with?
I'm a very neutral-based person. I'm going around I'll do all the protests. I'll literally go up to people and be like, "What's the context?" a little bit.
Okay, what's your channel?
So it's called CYE Talks, CYE.talks.
Okay, right.
It basically just stands for Can You Elaborate? So it's just scratching the surface, going up to people with their opinions. Because I think these kind of things are really important to actually get the context on. And someone standing with a sign, go on, you've got another party sign. Go on.
Do you know the story of Noddy?
No, go for it.
Have you heard of Noddy?
I've heard of Noddy, but I feel like you're going to teach me something new as well.
So the very first Enid Blyton Noddy book was called Noddy Goes to Toyland. And he decides to run away from the woodcarver who made him, because the woodcarver is now making a lion, and lions eat people. So Noddy's in fear of his life. Then he meets Big Ears, who says, "Well, I think you're a toy. I think you belong in Toyland." So Noddy is taken to Toyland, but he has to face a court case to prove that he is a toy. There are toy soldiers in the court ready to deport him if he fails. The question is asked, have you ever been placed on a mantelpiece Because if you've been placed on a mantelpiece, you're an ornament, you're not a toy, so you can't stay. But it's not enough to be a toy, you've got to be a good toy. So here we have the knock on the door of the police taking him to the court, and there he is in the dock. But there's the judgment. He's a toy, he's a good toy, and a brave toy.
So how was that translated into today's protest then?
Toyland has a better immigration policy than Britain. What can you say?
Okay.
It's citizenship for 4-year-olds.
Okay.
Oh, I'm going to lose my...
No, I'll leave it. You want to ask some questions? Yeah? Why are you here today in today's protest?
For my country to get free.
What country is that?
Iran.
And what's happening in Iran at the moment? What needs to happen?
I want Iran to get free because people are getting killed over just 2 days. Many people died, and I haven't seen my grandma in 4 years, and I feel really sad. So that's why.
I'm sorry to hear that. What do you think is happening in Iran that could happen in England today?
War and maybe. Maybe Islam will take over the country, and it's gonna end up like Nigeria, Africa. So I don't want that to happen to England too.
Yeah, mate. Do you mind if I ask a couple of quick questions?
Yeah, sure.
So, from today's protest, if there's one thing you could do to action and change yourself, or we could do as people in society, what would it be?
Well, first of all, come to know the Lord Jesus Christ. Ask to have a personal relationship with him. Ask the Holy Spirit to enter into you. It's all about Jesus. All about Jesus. And thank God, God has been working through Tommy way before he became a Christian. He was using Tommy. We need to go back to our Judeo-Christian roots. This is the trouble that we sent to... I live in Germany. I'm just come up from Hamburg last night. Same thing in Germany. Men, unfortunately, are become not men, as the biblical saying is. We've got to be strong. Defend our children, our wives. Everything's basically gone wrong when everyone can see it. So I'm here because my heart says I have to be here. What Tommy has put together and all the team is just so fantastic. This is my third time on the rallies, and each time I can see this is what we need. We're going to get our societies back. It's not going to be just in Great Britain. It's going to be, in France and Germany and all over the place. I believe so. That's what I feel. And also, I especially stand up for Israel. Is at the forefront of defending us all, and they get very little thanks. No thanks from our government. They are defending us against Islamism. Yeah, I'm not saying about all Muslims, but the ideology of Islam is extremely dangerous. I've read the Quran. Started reading it 25 years ago. Thanks to Tommy's Quran, it puts it into a very good way that anyone can understand. And they see it themselves that they want to dominate the world. When they have taken the world, then there'll be peace. Well, when there won't be peace, no way.
So we've actually heard from a few different people. Christian values have come up quite a lot, and Islamic regimes come up quite a lot.
Yeah.
What do you think is some core principal values that society could really do from the Christian values from today? What are we missing?
Okay, well, for instance, as Christians, like Brother Andrew from Open Doors said, Islam, I shall love all Muslims. I totally agree. I will try to love all Muslims in that I tell them the truth about Jesus Christ. They believe in Isa, who for them is a prophet, and they say it was a false person put on the cross, or Jesus on the cross, but he never died on the cross. No, only by learning about the true Jesus Christ can one be saved. And hence, actually, some of the best Christians are ex-Muslims. Speaking to them, some of them are so strong. Look at the son of Hamas, the boss of Hamas. He's an amazing person. He's a Christian, loves Israel, and yet he went out originally as a young kid wanting to, or attempting to blow up Jews, etc., because he's brainwashed. And we are still paying, us here and in America, paying money basically to the Palestinians to indoctrinate their children in kindergarten to hate Jews, to hate Israelis, but mostly Jews. Kill the Jews. They learn this from little kids. So the Palestinians, so-called Palestinians, because there is no such thing as Palestine or Palestinian people, they never existed. They were invented in 1968 by Yasser Arafat, Ceausescu and the KGB. But unfortunately nowadays, Palestine this, Palestine, Palestine that. I pity the Palestinian people. They've been brainwashed. So as Christians, stand by the truth, try not to get too emotional, tell the truth, and there can never be a Palestinian state next door to Israel. It'd be like Groundhog Day with Gaza. It really would. There's no chance in a million years of having a Palestinian state. I think I was corrected earlier. I thought there's 42 Muslim countries. Somebody said 50 something. Hey, please go there. We don't want like Lebanon, which is a Christian country, got or invited Palestinians in, and it's totally destroyed. And that's unfortunate truth. So my heart goes out to Palestinian people, but they've got to learn to love instead of hating all the time.
And with the extreme Islamists, what do you think doesn't blend well with Western society at all?
I think everything. Basically everything. Nothing does, because it's of the devil. Allah is basically of the devil, the Quran. I'm not saying this about Muslims and stuff. They can take my words they want. I don't really care. But that is actually loving what I'm saying, because it's the truth. With the Muslims, I will love you, I will tell the truth. But Islam is of the devil. And that's it. I'm not going to say sorry. I say that with love. That's it.
Do you have a distinction between the general Muslim population and extremist Muslims?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Because
how do you draw that line?
I say, Tommy explained it extremely well. He said as well, it's a little bit like with Christianity. You get Christians, it's like a fondue or a buffet. I'd like this, I like that, I don't like this. Some Christians will go drinking a lot and maybe swearing, some won't. It depends. Whereas truly in Christianity is having a relationship with Jesus Christ and doing what the Holy Spirit tells you. And so with Islam, Muslims, the Imam of Peace in Australia, I love that man, he's great. He's allowing still Muslims to, have their faith in Islam, but it's peaceful. And he's also pointing out where in the Quran, Muhammad, if he ever existed, of course, where Muhammad points out that Israel belongs to the Jews. The Quran does actually say it, but most Muslims don't recognize this. They don't know which verse. I've forgotten which things it's in, but the Quran does state Israel belongs to the Jews. Yep.
Thank you very much for your time today, mate.
Thanks,
all the context.
Yeah,
and I
thanks.
hope you enjoy the rest of the protest, yeah?
Thanks very much. I have to sit there because...
What are you here protesting today? What's your sign say? What are you standing for?
I don't know. I'm kind of a bit worn out after answering people's questions at this point.
That's fair.
I just want to just zone out and just.
Mate, I'll leave you to it. No worries.
I've answered that about 20 times, mate.
Hey, mate, it's a long day. You got a big signing. All the questions coming his way, bro.